Okay.
Shooter, are you ready? Stand by.
How's it going, YouTube? Quick video here. Wanted to sort of introduce the gun that I'm going to be shooting and reviewing tomorrow as part of the from the out of the box to the range to the match format. Patrick Kelly has done videos like this before. Go check out his YouTube videos. But I like to steal his format here, where he basically takes a gun that he's got new to him, and he usually does new guns all together, and he'll take them to a steel challenge match and shoot them and give you a review at the end of it. I'm going to do it in a very abbreviated version of that, and my gun is also not new. So you've seen this gun before in a very brief teaser video from my channel, but this is a Beretta 92FS that I think is like late 90s model. I got it used for, I believe, right at $400. It has night sights, though they are extremely dim at this point because they're like 20 years old, but they do still show up a little bit. It is not a G version, it is an FS version, so it has to be cocked. It is a safety decocker, right? So I mentioned that $400 price. I want to go briefly into tell you what I got with this gun for $400. It came with the gun, those magazines, as well as a extendo mag. I don't even know what but when I saw the value, you know, $400 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 magazines, that meant I could just pick it up and shoot it at any match I wanted to without having to buy extra mags, which if you shoot matches, mags are a pretty hefty expense when it comes to setting up a new platform. It also has night sights, which meant better than some of the typical sights you get on some guns. Wasn't plastic, although they are very dim. So that's what I got with this gun when I bought it, and I wanted to go and tell you a little bit of the details and things and changes that I've either noticed or that I have myself completed on this pistol, because unlike Patrick Kelly, where he brings a brand new gun out and shoots it at the match, this is not a brand new gun, nor is it a stock gun. So I'm sure you've seen 100 videos on Beretta 92FS's. So I'm going to briefly go into a little bit of detail about this specific one. I haven't done anything to this gun that drastic, that expensive, because I want to make sure I enjoy the pistol first before I spend any money on it. So holster wear, little general scratch marks, wear marks, nothing egregious. Just pretty much what you could expect from a used gun. I have detail stripped this gun, and completely taken it apart, put it back together, and very happy with the no rust spots, sort of things like that. So, and it has been cleaned. So what I've done so far is it came with hoe grips. This gun is already wide enough. It doesn't need any help with hoe grips. I don't have monster hands or anything like that. I just have regular hands. So the hoe grips came off, and I picked some Beretta 92 grips off Amazon. This is the brand. I can't say I recommend them or don't recommend them. It has a nice little pattern. It looks pretty good. It's kind of like the reverse Wilson Combat thing. It sort of brings your grip towards the mag release, but it doesn't seem to take a lot of the thickness off or add much onto it. I know they're kind of a G10 material. And then the only other thing I've done to this gun so far is put the D spring in it. So that was a real quick and cheap upgrade, and that has smoothed up the double action quite a bit. A little bit pretty smooth if you pull right through. If you kind of, you know, put uneven pressure on it, it feels a little bit, but if you pull through, it feels pretty good. And then the single action itself has always impressed me. Gotta take up and down a wall, a little pressure, a little bit more pressure, and then it breaks. But there's no creep. It literally has a wall and then pressure until it breaks. Probably as nice as a single action, you know, like a 1911 trigger. This is a really good, nice trigger. It's got a little take up, and then you're on the wall, and it will not budge or creep until it breaks. I wanted to give you a little bit of a look at this gun before you see it tomorrow night, which is when I'm going to shoot. I'm going to shoot it at an IDPA match, see how that goes, see if I can be accurate with it. Probably going to try and shoot some 115 grain out of it, factory stuff. I am concerned about the magwell here. It is not beveled. Planned would be to bevel the magwell, put the G conversion in it, put the Wilson combat grips on it, and perhaps do some of the other Wilson, you know, trigger bar upgrades. But I'm really pretty happy with the trigger already. I mainly want to take some of the thickness down and put maybe an extended mag release on it and bevel the magwell, and at that point I would probably be pretty happy with it. Due to the fixed sight nature of this gun, I cannot change out the sights, so I'm gonna have to be happy with this 3-dot sight picture for now. But that should be serviceable for now. And I'll follow this up with a review and let you know what I think about this gun after I shoot it tomorrow night. So thanks for watching, guys.
Are you ready? Stand by. Are you ready? Stand by. If you're finished, that means go put a slide trigger. Are you ready? Stand by. It finished. Unload and show clear.
2075.
It's nice to have that done for you. To have a decocker, it's nice to not have to put my thumb up there.
It finished. Unload and show clear.
So ideally you'd hang out, pace, have
Are you
fun
ready?
with us, you know,
Stand by.
you gotta shoot. So ideally you'd hang out, pace, have
Are you
fun
ready?
with us, you know,
Stand by. It finished. Unload and show clear. Slide trigger.
Second time I've done that tonight.
Beretta in there.
Are you ready? Stand by. I need to shoot. Are you ready? Stand by.
Gear I used last night, holster I used last night was I went and bought a Serpa. But I will argue about whether or not these are, I think if you buy a Serpa, use it for the shell. And they're relatively cheap and defeat that trigger safety. It's got enough passive retention there to make it a decent competition holster. Just defeat this, because that's the problem. And obviously they're a little cheap. They're not going to hold up to maybe a full competition season. But for a gun like this, where I just needed something tonight, worked pretty good. You'll see how much retention is on here. Pushing pretty good. I'm going to push with that finger to actually get this thing out. That's more than enough retention for competition. Alright, here we are, guys. After the batch. Beretta 92FS. I'll just say this, guys. I get it. I get it why some of you like this gun so much. And that it is a absolute pleasure to shoot. And if you do your part, this gun is going to do its part. I don't know whether it's the smoothness of the action or if it is a function of the gun itself. But I gotta tell you, this was one of the smoothest shooting guns I've used. Quick highlights. Recoil, basically negligible, in my opinion. Or I should say not negligible, but dramatically decreased due to the slide mass. When you're missing the top half of the slide and the barrel doesn't move, this thing tracks like a champion under recoil. Now, you have to do your part. You have to grip the gun like you mean it. But if you do that, this gun, I was able to watch the sights come back and go forward. Now, even with my Tanfoglio race guns that I have, I can't do that all the time. Now, I think it's a matter of me, again, doing my part. You got to hold it. You got to squeeze it. But this thing just was a lot easier to hold on to and watch it track under recoil. Now, that brings me to kind of the second part, which is the fat grip, which nobody likes and nobody likes for carry. Does give you a tremendous amount of surface area to get your hands on and to get squeezed, and then that leaves plenty of room there for your offhand there. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But the trigger reach is still available to you, at least for my hands, and I have medium-sized hands. So between the grip being the size that it is, with the checkering that's on here, which is not great checkering, but it is some checkering, I was really able to keep this gun firmly planted in my hand, squeeze the gun like you mean it, pull the trigger, and watch it track and recoil. Really easy. Things I did not like. Okay. Things I did not like. I kept burning myself on the barrel after the stages. Yeah, I kept coming over the top to do a ejection, and my thumb usually would touch the barrel. And even after an 18-round stage, this thing would get pretty hot. So I'm gonna have to learn to do the under barrel unload and show clear, which, you know, means just come up underneath it, or learn to keep my hands clear of it. But after even an 18-round stage, rapid fire, that barrel got hot and you did not want to touch it. Other negatives: night sights, completely effective. They are dim, they have some light in them. However, my sight picture is more of a hold. Like if I was aiming at that black spot, I like to put it right, you know, there, versus a hold over, which is what this gun requires. So I was dropping some points down just by dropping them, like, you know, if there's the circle, I would put 3 right here low. So that's on me, the shooter. It's a training issue. That's not a gun issue. It's just something to note about this particular, because it is a fixed sight. I can't remove that. It's not like dovetailed in there or anything. It is part of the slide, and because of that, and this is another little comment about this gun, made in '98, tritium night sights integral to the slide. I cannot get those tritium vials replaced. I actually messaged Beretta. I was like, well, this is a pretty nice gun. I think I'll hold on to it and might as well get some new night sights. Can't get that replaced anymore. I'll maybe try and throw a picture of the email up. Basically, they're not allowed to do it anymore due to governmental restrictions and the nature of the radioactive material. Can't be done anymore. Other than that, I mean, heck of a shooter, y'all. All my mags that I used last night worked, so that was kind of a concern. The gun worked. I did not have any trouble with the mag well for the most part. I still think I should bevel it, but I was surprised at how easy most of the reloads were. I didn't find it to be a tremendous problem. My offhand felt, landed on this side of the grip really well. I had plenty of room for this thumb to come in, kind of like that, I guess. But I also really think I might go with a thin grip to see if I can get just that much further to get the slide release. If I do my real grip, it's a little short. So maybe if I get the thin grips, I can cut out just that little bit extra to get to it without having to break my grip. That might really actually speed up reloads pretty quick. So yeah, I get it. I get the hype around the M92. I get the hype around the M9A1. And to say that there is hype is probably exaggerating it. But I get why Ernest Langdon and the Beretta fans that are fans of Beretta really enjoy this pistol, enjoy this platform. Going forward, if you're looking for a competition-oriented type gun, absolutely one of my recommendations is going to be the Beretta 92 M9A1. Glock 34, Glock 19, Beretta 92, Tanfolios, CZs, right? I mean, I think this is completely a viable contender, especially now I'm going to be looking at the Langdon LTT. I think if you pull up the stats that he's done on that gun, that M9 variant, you'll see he's basically addressed all the shortcomings of the platform that I might have. With the right frame, the right slide combo, you can really make a nice competition gun out of these things. Didn't have any problem with the double action. Didn't have any trouble with the single action. Had no malfunctions. I would most of the time I would be like 0 down and they would be together. Yeah, just a heck of a gun, guys. Can't recommend it enough now. If you can deal with this, maybe get the G conversion, bevel it, put the D spring in, you're ready to go. Shoot the gun. No excuses. Thanks, guys.